What are we
No,
doing?
no. Okay, wait. Let's give Luke. Don't start, bro. Don't start.
Anywho,
Give Amy a shot. Okay, go again.
We'll give her one more shot.
Give her one more. Okay.
oh boy, why is everything got to be hard to me? Welcome to the old Carver fishing podcast. Here, I'm Amy, and next to me we got the River Rat.
The River Rat Queen, Nikki Huddleston.
And then next to me, to my left here, I got Scotty, the Iceman, and far left is Chewy. And unfortunately, Dan wasn't able to join us this evening, and he had some family stuff going on. So, and also joining us tonight as our co-host is the atomic threat to all the minnows in the universe, Luke Henches.
To all the minnows. Can't say river. You're not the River King no more.
No,
brother.
we can't do that anymore.
It's done.
They already have a queen.
Yeah. So we do have a great show tonight. We are super excited for our guest tonight. He is a renowned Minnesota fishing guide and educator, fresh off his 2026 induction to the Minnesota Hall of Fame. And he's a pioneer to ice fishing. Has designed the iconic bow dropper and the bro series combos. His influence is felt all over the lakes. The fish fear him in the Midwest, I think, don't they? Anywho, but he's also a co-host to TV. I apologize. TV shows like the Midwest Outdoors, Linder's Angling Edge, In Fisherman Television, and North American Fisherman. He's just well-rounded out in the social
We'll
media.
get into all that stuff.
He is just well-rounded. So please welcome Brian Brosdahl. Welcome.
Hey, welcome.
What an introduction there.
Well, looks like she covered everything. Hopefully that was a good show, guys.
I was looking behind me. Was that someone else?
Yeah, well, welcome. We're super excited to talk with you tonight.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. And I love doing this stuff. And it's a lot easier than running around drilling holes. But I had fun today, and I have a slight red tan from snow blindness all day.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You were wearing your glasses though, for sure, right?
I had my white glasses because someone insulted them when I was doing the National Walleye Tour. You're not one of them white glasses guys. I wore them ever since.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, no, we had words for those. We used to call guys wear those, but we won't talk about that. But yeah, to just wear them. Why not?
That reflects on the heat, so you wear black glasses is just drawn right in there. And
there you go.
I'm getting
Heather's his co-host.
Hi.
Hi. How many years you guys been married? Beautiful years.
32.
Yeah,
3,200.
3,200.
I was gonna say 32, but I thought it was like 35.
No.
I'm just kidding. It's for her, not for me.
For her, yeah.
It's like it feels like it's the first year. How about not have that?
Is that too bright?
Yeah, because I'm seeing spots.
There you go. Perfect. That's even better. That's better. What were you catching today out on the lake?
Perch. That's pretty good there.
Okay.
Do they like the ones behind you?
No. Heather rolls the roost here. She's got 2 16.5-inch perch, and they're not from Minnesota. They're from Cascade Lake in Idaho, and I could talk about the lake and mention it because it's not here.
Exactly.
Luke's been there.
Yeah,
I have a 16 on the wall from there as well.
It's fun, and she didn't catch very many. I caught a lot, but I didn't get anything over 2 pounds. And she got one a day, and she texted me because I was drilling holes. Is this a walleye? And I said, that's not a walleye. And then she puts on the text, ha 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 ha. And she knew. And
how many between pound 13 to a pound 15 did you catch?
A lot. And I found some that were all of them were over a pound, and I didn't go to where the numbers were. We did something different. We stayed near town, and I targeted the sunken cabins over there, and not much there. But when they come through, they're really big. And so the next day she got another one, and I didn't get one over 2 pounds. But before I left, I got one was 16 inches on Lake of the Woods. Cotton relief.
Nice.
It was only in 18 feet of water, so it swam really nice.
When was the last time you were at Cascade then? I mean, was that
6 years ago.
okay? I just hear a lot of people saying that it's like overfished now, like it's being pounded. It's not the
pretty
same.
well known.
Well, and I just got to say, when I was there, I discussed that when I was at Tackle Tom's, and that's the old owner. And even in the restaurant, people were asking, and I said, this is 9,000 acres. We've got a lot of 3,000 to 9,000 acre lakes that we get them all. We take them all. And I don't see how you could have no limits. And,
Yeah.
and then I was
Right.
told by all three places, the DNR says you can't hurt or perch. But
Okay.
when it's a trophy lake like that, and then my thing when
Yeah.
I was out there, people were keeping piles, and I'm like, I came there just to see them. I know what perch tastes like. They taste like they do anywhere else, and so we just kept two to mount. That was the objective, and she got them, and I'm proud of her for doing it. And then she got a lot of nice trout. I caught numbers, but every time I'd be on my 40th hole, I'd get a text, and there'd be a big fish in the bucket. So the next day I said, I'm going to stay here. I am not moving all day. I'm going to stay here at least 2 hours, right? And then after about an hour, I was out of there and just set the auger down, and I got the text. So the second one came in, and I'm like,
Ain't leaving.
it was
The way
fun.
it always happens.
That's
That lake is
always
wild.
It's pretty cool.
We got a lot of our like 2-plusers in like 6 feet of water.
That's
Wow.
really cool.
Mm.
We're in a different thing there. I think when we were there, it was like 20s, and but I just bought a long track, wide track sled, and they said leave it home. We just got ice. You're going to burn it up. Bring a 4-wheeler. Well, I get there, and they said, "What are you doing with that?" We got a 4-wheeler stuck out there right now. It was somebody that was leaving the next day and just wanted to at this place I stayed at, and kind of gave me a bad idea. Don't bring a 4-wheeler is what she should have said. But so I rented a sled there. So I was on a powder rocket, and I had to keep check. Heather didn't want to be on the back. She had to be in the front. And because when you hit it, it's almost standing up. And so I had one of those, I can't remember. It was 800, but it was a fast 8. Or no, it was a 1200. And there's a nice place there to rent sleds. And it's a good option because I don't know. When I drove up there and drove back, I put some imprints in my wheel because I'm not used to that elevation. And I looked
Yeah.
at it,
Mhm.
I'm like, how long would you roll before you get to that town down there? You know,
A
and
long time.
There was a guy. He pulled into one of the boat ramps on Cascade. I know it's not wheeler friendly. It's not wheel friendly at all. That lake is. And this guy pulled up with a 20-foot ice castle to pull out with his truck, thinking he was going to get out there.
Oh boy.
oh no.
He made it 20 feet and got stuck and just sat there the whole weekend and stayed on the ice.
Oh.
Guess
You know,
he wasn't going anywhere.
All
the
you can
funny
do.
thing is, you can't leave a house out there overnight.
No.
All you can use
Oh,
is
you
portables. And could you imagine in my neck of the woods? I mean, I like castles. You know, I'm happy for everybody with castles. I had a castle, but I want a couple lakes where I could go out there and it's a sheet of paper. You know, where we
Yeah.
can go out there and do our thing. But you know, not a lot, just a few lakes that you could just go
Do
to.
that.
You know, use your machine and then off at night. Nothing stays out there. It'll be fun.
Mhm.
I was out on a local lake here. I live right by Durham, and the lake I was fishing on yesterday is about 8 to 10 inches of water on it today.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that prior. I mean, just down here right now,
It's not looking good.
Yeah, they're going fast with this.
we couldn't even get across today with the snow dog. It was
Wow.
just shoreline is pretty much you walk and crunch down. Otherwise, another lake not too far away, I could have, but it's gonna go fast here.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the 60 coming up.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be
Chewed.
beautiful. But now, like you said, bro, I am not ready for it yet. I got 3
No.
weeks left to catch my my personal best here, and
Yeah, we got to get.
I'm
up
on a
north.
mission.
Well, you know, I'm telling you, and I don't have one right now, but I think a Willcraft would be nice for all of you to split
Yeah.
just right in the date when you want it, late ice,
Yeah.
because they trained me how to use it. And Don Lincoln took me and, you know, and he was crazy. And so he'd take me in the water, go back up on the ice, down in a river. And and, you know, let me tell you something, you got to be careful, but I learned one thing: don't go fast.
It's just
Because if you
slow.
trash everything, every direction, you can't get to it. You're like trying to hook the ice,
Oh.
but if you have two, you're unstoppable. Two with a rope, for whoever's going too fast, you go bail them out, throw a
Bail
rope.
'em.
Mhm.
That's what they did for me. I fished out of one on the opener on Cass Lake, and the walleyes wouldn't come out from under the ice, so the boats couldn't catch them, and we could catch them. It was driving them crazy. They're trying to pitch and get it right there, and they wanted to be in underneath the ice a little bit.
Yep.
That was
I'll
cool,
just
but you
check this
couldn't walk
out.
on it. You couldn't walk; you'd go right through at that time. So
That's
Hmm.
awesome.
I know
Brian.
I've done that on Tonka whenever it gets really soft, just cast out and it'd punch through. And I'd leave my bobber sitting there, I'd find like a really thin spot out in the middle of it. And yeah, get them that way.
it's a way to go.
It's fun too.
Mm-hmm.
It's super fun.
Let's do a little bit of get to know Brian Brosdahl here.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's. Where did your passion for fishing start?
I probably would say Lake of the Woods. My family's from up by Greenbush, War Road area, and my parents moved to the cities for jobs. There's really nothing up there, and that's when I was old enough to be bro, I was in Brooklyn Center, but not the Brooklyn Center now. It was all forests, all woods, and people were bow hunting by 52nd Avenue and stuff like that. I lived on the river there, and at 9 years old, I was running a boat by myself, which is probably some form of abuse nowadays. But
Yeah.
you learn stuff, man. I'd run up and down the rapids, and that's what I did all the way through high schools. I had a lun boat tied to a tree, and I went fishing every day. And I started fishing upriver, up towards from there to past 694 Durham Island, Coon Rapids, and up to the dam. And I found ways to get up there. And downriver is bad. You hit a pylon or a rock, and you got to roll all the way up there. And so I did that once, and I said, okay, I'm Mr. Upriver now. I'm not going down primitive stuff, And
Yep.
it's a wild river. And I know I met a few people who actually fished that quite a bit in the smallmouth bass, and everything's fantastic. There's walleyes where walleyes would be, so wading in the river back then, there wasn't so many laws. You could, dig clams out of the bottom with your feet, and sometimes the clams were a leatherback turtle. And you're in the water, you can't see what's down there. And
It's funny. You talk about hitting something going downriver, and you have to go all the way back up. And I used to, when I fished the Minnesota River, I started fishing that about probably 14 years ago, and I had a prop boat forever, and I always started upriver, always. And I finally got a jet boat, and then I got complacent, and then I just started sending it wherever I wanted. But it's something you got to keep in mind. If you hit something or break down,
Yep.
you got to get back.
you got to
Yep.
get back. And I had one old buddy. He was older, but I got along with him. I didn't understand what he'd say because he was a composition major, and he was really good at jabbing you, and it'd take you a while to catch it, And, but anyway, he's the guy I could call anytime, anywhere. And his answer to me is, what do you need now? I said, the back end of my truck is through the ice, and I'm 3 lakes in. Follow my tracks. And he would show up. He wouldn't say anything. He'd hand me the tow rope, and then as soon as he pulled you out, he would leave. He'd go, I go now, and he'd leave. And he won't call me anymore. And so I'd say, you want to fish for a little while since we're way over here through the woods? I had to use a chainsaw to get back there. No. And so good friends are good to have. And right now, I got friends, but they're not going to go 3 lakes in, pull me out. So, but that's, he passed away, but good influences. One of my influences is Paul Nelson, writer from Bemidji, and absolutely hilarious. And he was a tournament partner. And in our boat, it was not quite a tournament. It was fighting all day long and having a blast, So
Do you think
Nice.
you think your passion was from an accumulation of fishing? Was there like one thing that happened or a fish you caught that really stuck with you forever?
Yeah, I'd say Lake of the Woods, out on a launch. I just turned 5, and nobody would go. It was really rough, and there was 2 guys that said, "Oh, we'll take the launch out," and took us out, and it was really bad. And I had so much fun catching those walleyes, and it was so adventurous. And I mean, we probably shouldn't have been out there, but I remember how much fun it was seeing them, catching them, and how easy it was. And like those Willie Nelson lyrics, the breath smelled like turpentine. I remember that too, back then. Those people, I think they needed courage to go out there, but that was really cool. And then I just wanted to catch everything that swam. And now, fast forward to now, my favorite thing right now is to find fish. It's not even to catch them. I want to find them and maybe fish for them, and then I don't go back to them. I want to find a new school of fish. And as a guide, I kind of got conditioned to do that. I always left. So with Heather, I said, "You want to go fish today?" I got today off. Are we going to be looking and leaving? Or are we fishing?
Keyword.
A little bit of both. Are we going to fish? Well, okay, we'll fish. And then she'll jump in and go. And if it's rough out, then I get the HE double hockey sticks. No. And but it's fun. And, actually fish for a living. It's what I do. And that's what I want to do. When I got out of high school, I was going to school for a little while, and I thought maybe chemistry, because I liked all the ideas of the solutions and finding solutions. And so I was going to start with an associate's in applied science, and I went into it a little bit. I said, I don't want to do this. I want to guide. And then I made my way up to northern Minnesota and lived in, planes, trains, and automobiles all the way. And then, so I met Heather when I was looking for crappies up at Leech Lake, and I heard the rumor of these big crappies, and then I met her, and it was really cool. And so a year later, we how do you say, we started fishing together, and just she's a little bit more type A, and I'm a little bit back a couple letters, but worked out good, and true story. And so I loved it when I was in the Twin Cities. We had the music scene there. And any night of the week, you go somewhere, and there was some debuting super cool band. All the restaurants were really cool. The bars, all these places, and it was fun to be there. And then fish, and people were flying there to be there because it was such a fun, eclectic city. And so I left shortly after that, and I haven't really lived there since. And I got to say, there was a lot of fishing back then in all the neighborhoods, and the people, they all went up north, most of them. And I lived on the
same.
I think so. And St. Croix River was right there. And what you didn't get on this river, you could get over there. And, it was a real fun thing. And Minnesota River would not only had big catfish, but had big walleyes. There's so many spots, and I look at them when we go there and look around, and they're the same. And there's still nobody fishing some of these spots, like weed beds on the St. Croix, where we caught big bluegills. And so I think it's a really cool place, just from Minnetonka to Hudson, down to the different locks and dams in Vermilion River, and down to, when you get down to Pepin. Gorgeous, just a different area,
I love Pepin in the winter ice fishing. I did that. I always thought like the river only had like big fish, like catfish and walleye. I didn't realize there's crappies and all these other fish. Like these guys, Nikki and Luke, teaching me finally that there is other fish in the river. So I get what you're saying. It's fun to find that stuff and actually
very appeasing
target
for
it.
ADHD too. Like, because anything
rivers
is
are
possible
fun
from catching. I love rivers.
You just never know what you're hooking into.
Yeah, right.
That's the beauty of it. It's hard to target, really.
I was going to ask, what do you think the most important thing is for a guy to be successful like you besides catching fish?
Well, you know what's really cool now is the internet. It touch thousands of people with one post.
Mhm.
And when I started out, like guiding, I had to put up cards, and it didn't bother anymore because people are taking them or they're throwing them, and or this is somebody's area, and there is no area anymore. You could just go whatever and do whatever you want. Now back then, there was like this person's area or that group's
Mhm.
area. It's not like that now, and so I think this is great if you want to be a guide, if you want to fish for a living. Uh, don't yell at the people if they miss fish, because I will tell you, I hear that all the time, and they come to me because I don't yell. I say, if you miss a fish in my boat, we'll get another one, or it's a stocked fish if you miss one, right? So if you can be nice to people that you don't know, even if they drive you crazy, you'll be a good guide, and 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 just try hard to get a fish. Do you get fish every day? Sometimes it's tough. Uh, I do good now. I've been around, and to start out is daunting. Then even on the ice, there's new guides on the ice in open water. I welcome them because we need fresh blood. I mean, the average age of the guides, besides me, are like 60s, 70s, some are 80s, and it's like
Mhm.
good gravy. We
That's
need
a good point. I was in Boca Grande, Florida. We had never really done the tarpon run up there, and we decided to get a guide for the first day, kind of to figure out what we were doing. The worst experience I've ever had in my life in a guide boat. And the guy he made you feel bad when you miss a fish. He'd yell at you.
Yeah.
He's like, dude,
Why?
I
What's the
fish
point?
I fish
Yeah.
for a living kind of too. I fish a lot. And
Yeah.
this guy's talking to me like I'm 2 years old. He's like, you can't do that. We're not going to catch shit if you're not doing it right. Like, dude, I'm sitting here holding the rod, waiting for the tip to drop. It's not like
Yeah.
nobody was happy to be in his boat. But
Well, that's too bad, and
It is.
I say, even I have my list of guides when we need multiple boats. So I have guys I know. We're always neck and neck when we're trying to. How are you doing? How am I doing? And I share. We help each other, but they're nice to people. And one of them, the only complaint was that he never stopped talking. And let me tell you something. Everybody loves that. You get into a boat and somebody, might need a psychiatrist or something. You don't want to be around that person, But it's fun, and if that's all, that's one of the biggest things is being there. And then the dumping out of a bucket of perch, I have a problem with that. We're all getting them, but you're showing them as just that. We're holding two, and the reason I do two, you got to think about your actions too. The dumping out of the bucket is still, I don't know, it's not very tasteful, and I see it on online, and it all started in Wisconsin, and the guy's doing good, but maybe it's good there. Here, I have clients that don't take more than two fish. I have clients that never keep any
Mhm.
when they're with me, never, and they live on a lake. They can get fish anytime. They just want to jump in and unplug, and so the bucket thing is good if you want to keep trying to get that bucket over and over and over and over, or you're getting it, but you don't have to dump a bucket. If your reputation's there, you could just, and I never post splashdowns, fish all over the place and then lay in them. I've seen pictures like that. I wouldn't want to have to keep up. Like last year was better than this year on the ice. And that's why I'm glad I didn't do any of that stuff, because you got to live up to what you're what you're showing and that stuff. So it's good for them. It's not good for me. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
No question, Scotty?
Mm, have you ever went through the ice? I believe I talked to you about this at the ice show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have. I've fallen through the ice. One time, pretty good, where it was really fast. It was like a trap door. There's 9 inches of ice, and we had the ice was making ice really fast, and I was chiseling and had a good rhythm going, and about a half mile out, I outstepped my chisel, and lo and behold, there was a crack there, and there's enough snow. If you're going to set make a trap for somebody, nature did a really good one. And so I heard the crunch, and went to go back, and poof under.
Down.
And
Ooh.
so I'm looking, and I'm like, that's cabbage weed right there. Nice cabbage weed. And
Good
then
place to fish.
I look up, no hole. And I'm looking around, I can't find the hole. And the hole was back this way. So I get up there, and I'm like, where's my spikes? And I always carry spikes. The one day I didn't have them there. And so it was 10 or 20 below zero. It was cold. I got up to the ice, and I threw my arm on the ice to try to grab, and your fingernails can't get anything. But I noticed my sleeve stuck. So I put it in the water, and you gotta be, I was breathing slow, and I was relaxing, thinking of funny things. I put my arm up there, and I let it sit for a long period of time, and then it stuck. And I paddled my feet, and I flipped on the ice. And let me tell you, I'm not streamline shaped. I'm like more like this. And I flipped on, and I knew this was my only chance. And then I had to go back and get my gear. And but let me tell you something. There's no easy way. And some people go through, they panic.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take a deep breath. And can you go through? You can.
Mhm.
Ice is 100% safe if you're with people. It's so much easier. And so I had my good old buddy in the car, and never came out, never seen the door open. And then so I'm almost ashore, and he goes like this, you disappeared for a while. I said, yeah, thanks for the hand. And he goes, what are you going to do now? I said, I got to go change my clothes and come back. And so I had to live through that all year, because everybody knew it was me, and they'd seen the hole.
No.
They go, did you put a four-wheeler through? And I'm like, ha ha, it was my body. They're poking me, was that a four-wheeler? And
man.
but so I never went through any other way. When I lived in the Twin Cities, I was trying to ice fish the river, and I went through, and I busted, as a kid, I busted the ice all the way up to where there was a log floating. And I used that log, I climbed on the log, and I rolled on sharp ice to shore. And it taught me a great lesson, and it was super cold. And it was good. It just, the ice below it went. And I said, okay, I'm never going to go on any kind of current ice again. And I was just a kid, and I never said anything, because I didn't want all kinds of leashes to come on to me. So they said, what'd you do? I said, I just, was messing around by shore. But anyway, I was almost to the spot, and I remember having to peel the pants off. They're frozen on me. I just cut them. But outside of that, by shore, up to your knee, you could feel it getting saggy, and then you drop and you go off to shore. But that's it. And in thousands and thousands of trips, and now I have everything you can imagine, because now it would be the shot heard around the world. So I stay above. I stay on top. I'm not careless, and I never was then. But sometimes I was in a hurry and I didn't have my gear. If you have your gear, all your stuff, safety gear, and we don't have to explain it all, but if you got what they say online, nothing will ever happen to you. That's just how it works.
And then when you don't have your stuff with, something always happens. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's a guarantee.
How many lakes do you guide on, Brian?
I figured it's right around 25. And I got a smaller Lund tiller with a 115. Very relaxing boat. I just love it. And it's 4-stroke. And then I have my 219 glass, which is relaxing too. But it doesn't matter what the wind is, I can go. So I'm on 25 different lakes, but mostly big ones. I'm aware of my carbon footprint, and I'm trying not to damage or hurt little lakes. And a little lake to me is anything under 1,000 acres. I try to stay to 3,000 and up, and you can take a drop of blood from this lake and from this lake, but you don't have to take pints. You'll kill the patient,
Yeah.
Not a lot of people do that. At least I see some of the guides. That's what they do. The same lakes over and over and over and over.
Well, Winnie can take a beating, and if it doesn't get one from me, the other 700 people in the spring and fall might do something. But Cass, is nice. not an easy lake. It's really tough. There's not a lot of smaller fish in there right now. It's all big fish. And, Leech Lake is big, but, there's, 24 other lakes in the area that are big, and the fish look the same without putting on 100 miles in a day, because I don't like to lose to fish. And I've taken people from one end to the other, and that's a big lake.
Mhm.
And but it's fun. It's like a tournament. But some people, if it's not hot, they don't want to go from one end to the other.
Mm-mm.
So let's just try something close, and I'm good, And I did tournaments. I fished the FLW walleye tournament, the national walleye tournament. No one even knows that, because I didn't win. If you don't get number one,
No.
you're forgotten. And
I
that's
did know that.
Yeah, you only remember
But
number one.
When you're
That's
first,
true.
you're last.
You
If you're
were,
not first, you're last.
Yeah.
You were in the top
Take a
10 for
bait.
sure.
Do you partake in forward-facing sonar to find schools of fish?
Oh yeah, I use side imaging probably the most. And then if I find something that looks like they're not red horse or suckers, even on our big lakes that don't have carp, there are a ton of white suckers now because we have zebra mussels and the water's gin clear. And so it's made it a little bit complicated. There isn't a summer kill like there used to be. We used to have summer kills up here. The lakes would be floating with fish everywhere. And never talked to anybody at the DNR. I'm sure they know, and they got a degree on whatever I would ask them. But when they're not dying now, and the only difference is zebra mussels, it's got to make the water less particulate because there's white suckers everywhere. There's tulipies are just incredibly populated. Lots of small ones. I don't know if they're living or dying, but you don't see them. And so it's things are changing. But with forward facing sonar, I like it for what I'm doing. I show it to the people, and I also find on the ice, they don't need to move as much because they see the perch going by and coming up and bumping their lure, and they know, and they could tell it's a bigger one because they've just caught a few. Forward facing sonar has actually taken a lot of the moving houses and stuff out of there because, in the past, they used to take people to the spot, and then the fish weren't there, and we left, wrote it off, and I would go back and check, and it's just alive, and you still got a fish. Forward-facing sonar or not, you still got a fish. You could make it without. I'm going to use it while it's legal. I'm not chasing muskies, which is a finite resource. I'm chasing what everybody chases. Quick story. I know my stories age people, but I launched one day at Winnie, and the place was full. And I don't know what happened if it was some report Lake Link or something, but the place was full. I had to park far away. My boat's banging when I get there, get people out. I come in, and it's empty, completely empty. So talk to the AIS guy, and I said, what's going on here? And he said, it was terrible. And I said, how bad? Bad. He said, I only seen 3 fish all day out of all those boats. I said, how many people had forward-facing sonar? He said, all of them. And he said, some had 2, some had 3, and they didn't catch fish. So you still got to fish. You still got to catch them.
Mm-hmm.
And we just watched the walleyes, and they said they could see them. So is the forward-facing sonar catching them? Not for everybody. There's people that know a lot about it and still don't use it right. And there's people who don't know what to do during bug hatches. And we were catching our fish halfway down using 1/16 ounce jigs and panfish leeches. And if they weren't coming up for it, they wouldn't bite. Once it got past halfway, they wouldn't do nothing. And you couldn't drop it to them. And it was tough. It was very meticulous. And when it gets weird like that, I put my rods away and I tell them what to do. And I do let people use it. I have like fishing team kids that know how to run it, as long as they keep their family in it too and don't hog all the fish. I try to let the moms and the daughters and the little kids get them too.
Well, the fish can feel that too. I mean, a lot of those walleyes, I guarantee you that they didn't get us because they felt it and they pushed them away. So, I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, even today when I was zooming, so there's plus and minuses to those for sure.
They're getting trained, aren't they?
Oh, 100%.
Mhm.
Smart, smart, smart. Well, when you bring that up, I want to go and ask you that question about I know that new law that's coming up, or they're thinking about doing. How are you going to do that guiding with maybe 2 rods, this open water, each person, or 4 on the ice? I mean, to me, it sounds like a mess if you have 8 people or 8 lines in.
Well, and right now we can use 2 on the
on the
ice
river.
Yep.
and on the river, and I don't really troll it, but in the tournaments I had to troll. It was a troll-a-thon when I was doing them. Now you're throwing at fish, but on for everything, even on ice, we can use them. I'll have maybe a iFish Pro out there with a rod soaking them in. But if they ain't gonna go get it when it goes off, that I'm not doing it for me. I want them to catch a fish. But most of the people still on the ice catch all their fish on one rod. A well-jigged rod will outproduce a bunch of rods, and that's just how it is. And we get crazy if it gets tough. I mean, I'm jigging all kinds of stuff. I'm putting on big spoons. You might see it was so big you couldn't see my other hand, and ripping them under the ice. We're doing all kinds of stuff. Even the double rip where you grab the bottom of the line, and then so it's tumbling from the bottom of the ice every time, brings them in. And but then sometimes we had one year that they just wouldn't bite. Then I would told everybody, don't even bother jigging. They would jig, not catch them, then join the program. Drop shotting with fatheads. It was a terrible, boring year. We limited out every day. And so mitigating factors change what fish consume or where they hang out. And this is one of those years. They definitely were basin bound. There's spots on Winnie I wouldn't fish because you'd kill a bunch, you pop a bunch of little ones in that deep water trying to get to the big ones. So it's, but the multiple lines, bring it on. I know some of my
It
older
sounds like
buddies.
a nightmare to me, but I'm sure it's fabulous. But I guess my other question, when you say that, because like some of these lakes, you know, you have 6 walleye limits. You put 4 lines down, bam, within 20 minutes you have your limit, and now you're done. You can't fish anymore that day if you obviously keep them. I
Right.
mean that's. I mean, I guess I would want to have my day there, fun, you know. But
Oh, yeah.
again,
Just throw one back and
keep
going for
going,
the big
but-
one.
But
Well-
I think it's a great idea. I mean, for $5, make sure everyone does it. You know, buy your walleye stamp, and you do that and help conserve it. You know, put walleye in the lake. But I'm just like, what a mess! Could you imagine the rip and wraps if they were all? Oh, just looks like a mess to me.
Well, and you know, like they're in St. Croix River and Mississippi, and I did tournaments there. I loved using 2 lines. You know, when I'm using blades and if I'm using hair jigs,
Mm-hmm.
rolling through the fast current seams, and up where I'm at, if they want to, they could do it. Or if the fish are hopping, you don't need to do it. But in the summer when it's tough, it does. You could have a pile of lines, and it ain't gonna make much difference if you're soaking a half a crawler on a black jig head, Tom Wynn style. Then you're gonna throw it right at the fish. There's times when the fish is gonna hit. That's awesome. The fish is gonna hit the first line that drops in front of them, and there you're not even thinking about multiple lines. You're thinking about, okay, now I kind of want to rotate people through this, because when you really know where the fish are and where they're sitting, you can't have a whole bunch of splashes. And I explain to people how they can better do stuff. And some people just want to catch numbers. And so if there's slot fish, which are the ones you can't keep, the bigger ones, I love finding those fish because those are the afternoon fish. They're the fun fish. And then early, you get close. And you don't have to, if you got 3 people, you don't need to have 17 in there. It all depends on the people. I'm so surprised how many people do not want to limit a fish or aren't going to keep them. It's more than, I think it's because they don't dump buckets out. We just hold the fish.
But do you think with those 4 lines like that, people will be doing stuff like that? I mean, wouldn't you think that they're going to start pouring those fish out on the lake in buckets fulls? Or
I'll be the game warden of my boat and the captain, and I'll just say, can you handle 2 rods at the same time without messing them up? And there's no judgment here. If you can do it, go ahead. I'm going to use 1. If it's slow, that it would be great if you got fish. There's times in this neck of the woods where there's walleyes all around you. You could just throw it over your back. You know, if you go to Red Lake or Winnie or Leech, you know, you go to Leech in after opener, and there's mats of fish out there, but it takes a little longer. And if there's, and I think the DNR does a great job in the state. I'm not out to hook and rip every lip out there. I enjoy doing it, but if they're biting, my rod comes in. Once in a while, I'll throw it just to kind of get my vibe back. But I love finding fish, and I want people to catch them. And sometimes we catch a lot, but I don't need to catch 122, 125. I'm also thinking about the next day or for other people. You do scorch them, and they don't. Some of them bite the next day, but you could scorch them. There's only so many, and on these lakes, there's thousands. And sometimes, and in other lakes, like when I'm on cast, I have schools there's 9 fish there, and I can only take 4. If you take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they're gone, and they won't regroup the next day. You take a drop of blood, 4 fish, 3 fish, they'll be there tomorrow.
Makes sense.
That's what I have with my friends. I'm watching. I'm like, you just took 5, man. There's a small school, so we kind of. Zing each other a little bit too. If there's like 45 of them there, maybe you could take 8, 9, but you can't keep pulling them up in gin clear water that has 25 feet of clarity. So we just take drops of blood and not the big pints of blood. Don't kill the patient.
Yeah. We got any questions here?
Bro, so you said you have like about 25 boats. I mean, 25 boats. Sorry, 25 lakes that you guide to. Are some of those lakes, do you target those lakes? I imagine you have those lakes because of the size and the time of the bite or the season. And so you have deeper water, you shallow water, come springtime, come summertime. Is that part of your strategic deal here?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, and I'm glad you asked that question. I follow the temperature. So in the spring, I'm looking for warm water, and then as the warm water gets too warm, then I'm finding lakes that are at that temperature next week or the week after, so you can continuously have a spring bite. And in the fall, so it's the shallow lake. Leech is shallow on the big lake. Walker Bay is deep. So, and then Cass is deep, but other bays are shallow. So you don't have to have one of those trackers to find me. You just have to know which lakes are warm in the spring, and you'll find me. You'll go right to me, the warmest temperatures. And in the fall, which lakes have the cool temperatures. And some lakes are really deep up here. And when the fish come up shallow, it's cool or there's turnover. So the temperature is what I follow, the age of the temperature as it goes on. And then when it gets really hot, which lakes hatched? Which ones are billowing out mayflies? And then you avoid them like it's, the flu over there. Yeah. And then if it's midge flies are that popcorn in a bar. They make you have more and more because it's salty. So the midge flies make all the eater size walleyes school up in big piles near deep water mud that's really, really full of them. And so when the midge flies come, I know it because you find giant schools in small areas, and I love it. Midge flies are just great for us. Spring or fall, even when it's cold, you're like, there's still ice in the lake and there's midge flies emerging. So the corona mids, there's over 2,200 varieties, and there's varieties we haven't really even classified, and so really cool stuff. But age of the temperature of the water is ultimately important. Then after midges, then come mayflies, and hexies are the big mayflies. There's different size ones, and then the big hexies, they'll shut them off, and then the crayfish molt. They walk out of their shell and they go from this crunchy thing to a soft omelet, and the fish is like,
Deliciousness.
and they can smell it when get rid of their shell, and you got 12 hours before it starts turning into like leathery feeling, and then they got a shell back. It's crazy. Great question. Thank you.
Nice.
That was a good one.
Speaking of spring,
I
I
liked it. I
know
liked it.
you love spring fishing out at them a lot in the boat.
I love fishing all the time. Ice is my favorite. It always has been my favorite. I could go to Florida, visit. We have family there, and we'd visit all the different places. So I have a map filled with pompano spots. Love pompano fishing. Can't wait to get back here. We don't have to wash our rods and reels every day after we fish. And there's salt on everything, your clothes. But it's fun. But I like fishing. But ice is my favorite because you could have if you want to go where it's good bite, or you want to go where it's scenic and you can catch fish. Love it. Where can you go and have no one anywhere on the ice? You can.
Exactly.
Even on the lake.
Well, unless someone sees you catching something, then I got 50 people around you.
That's why I
Gotta be
leave
very
at
careful.
or go at night.
Well,
the only one
in the
there-
metro area too.
Yeah, with our friends you haven't met yet.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
and you know the camaraderie. It's kind of cool,
I've
especially
met
with
some
ice.
good people out on the ice
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
100% got stuck and they pulled us out, and now they want us to come back up in the next couple weeks. It's like, okay, sure. I mean, you meet the greatest people on the ice.
They are. There's so many nice people, and on my way to the ice, when Red Lake's on, I mean, these roads are heavy traffic, and they're not designed for heavy traffic. This was like no population, terrible road, and so all these years later, we got great big trucks with Bluetooth everything and big ice castles whipping down these little roads that are designed for a goat trail, and so I've pulled a lot of people. I've had people upside down, had to pull them out quite a few times, and they just hit a spot, and they know what they're doing. They know how to drive, and you can see that they've been around for a while, but it's these roads are designed. They need to upgrade 71 and 46 because there is a lot of traffic, and good. I'm glad they're getting up there. But Red Lake, you go there and you just catch fish, and there's people everywhere, and everybody's catching fish.
Yeah, it's crazy,
We just need a few more lakes like that.
right?
Now that we're going into spring, what are the top 3 things you're looking for spring walleye?
Oh, I would say it depends where I'm at. Before the opener, we go to Rainy when you could go there, and that's catch release, and then we'll hit the South Dakota Minnesota border, those rivers that are called lakes over there, but what I'm looking for is warm water, gravel, and shallow, because they're going to be right on that edge, and then if they're going into spawn, the females kind of disappear. It's different here in our northern strain of walleyes versus the southern strain in Erie, where you can catch a great big walleye and it's dumping its eggs. So warm water in the spring, gravel, shoreline, and I like Cara, which is that skeletal, like fragmented, non-rooting algae that forms in lake winds and waves push it around and make it pillowy. And there's clearings, and those clearings are so good early. And big windswept areas, but give them to me on a mild day, it'd be kind of nice. But and then in the spring, though, before that, I like chasing panfish, and because they're shallow, and I
Moved
can
up to
catch,
the warmth.
yeah, and you throw them back, and they're fine, and you don't have to take too many pictures of one and dry it out. You could just take a picture because you're going to catch more. And the bluegills, they're in their area. The crappies are in their area, and there's not much differentiation, but the crappies are in the absolute best cover. They're creatures of edges, just like bluegills. And the bluegills, they're going to be in that mud, and they can be in 2 feet of water, and there could just be tons of them. And we still have amazing panfish in the whole state, top to bottom. The river backwaters, when you get to La Crosse and even farther north, Red Wing, amazing crappies. And it was hard to focus on walleyes when I was pre-fishing for the tournament down there because big crappies and they're eating big crankbaits and blades.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
That's so fun
Tricks.
too.
It was
It's like,
tough.
oh, shiny objects, shiny objects.
We fished
Doesn't matter
a
the size.
we fished a backwater lake for crappie and some bluegill about 6 years ago in Red Wing, and we were on the late ice where it was getting pretty sketchy. Boats driving by waving at us while we're on the ice.
It's really good there, and I can see that. But there's people down there that got some really good bluegill bites, and they ain't telling anybody, and they better not tell me because I'll be right there. But
If they're smart, they won't tell anybody.
exactly, and there's these little places you can't get to because it's shallow, and then it dishes out, and water's running through it, and there's all kinds of insect hatches and all those back areas, and the fish know when to dump out. Walleyes and everything else can sense the water. The speed of the water changing in minute detail, and very fascinated with the river. I could spend a lot of time just fishing all of that stuff and just going from one place to another. But and the big perch that are available in southern Minnesota on the river in those big lakes that have little micro pockets or little puddles that have everything in them.
Mhm.
Those little backwater areas.
So
They're
fun.
fun.
They are.
What's your one goal that you want to do this year? Like, what is something new that you want to try or actually try and accomplish something different than?
Well, it's I want to catch. Heather wants to catch a whitefish, Minnesota whitefish. Because when you get them, they're 4, 5, 6 pounds, and there's lakes that have them, and that's just the tip of the iceberg of a complicated drill-a-thon. But and sometimes it's easy, but I would say I just want to hopefully I could do some videos and just talk about this time to go. I want to see more people get out fishing. It was nice to see people this winter fishing. It was a little bit down, I thought, in some areas, but more people should ice fish. Fishing it keeps me centered. It keeps me whole, and I'd like other people to feel that. They might be more stressed than I am. Like when something explodes or a tire pops or something happens to my gear, I just go like this. What can
Go
you do?
fishing.
It's not my machine if I don't do something to it. But so if they're getting a little bit of stress, from whatever, or maybe they don't, but go fishing. It's really good for you, and you'll find that you age slower, and you are nicer to your friends. around them.
Until you don't tell them where the
True.
spots
I
are.
don't know.
Yeah.
He fishes a lot and she ain't nice.
Hey, 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 hey.
It's good for you, and look at how we're interconnected. We all fish,
Mhm.
and and that's it's a really cool thing, and it's everywhere that there's fishing. It's like that, and so it's a good thing. It's healthy, and so let's keep those numbers up and fishing and hunting for the kids. Just get them out. I'm gonna try to get a couple kids out to. Already take them fishing, but I want them to hunt, and I've had plenty of animals and birds, and I want to see them get one because that'll make them.
Heck yeah.
No, for sure.
Oh, it's fun when you're
That's how I
learning.
grew up.
I mean, this one right here to my right, Nikki, deer hunting. I've learned a lot from her.
That's
Done
awesome.
it, but I haven't gotten my deer yet. But she's taken me out and
That's
she's
just,
teaching me.
the
the
just
woods are
learning.
my therapy. If I'm not on the water or on the river, the woods is where it's at for me.
It
Grew up
is.
hunting, and I missed
yeah.
a lot of deer before I got one, and my first year made up for all of them that I missed. So
It's
it'll be
It'll
worth it.
It is worth it.
It'll be
I've
worth
been
it.
feeding them deer real good at my house. They'll be real.
It's
we
funny
see
that
the videos.
adrenaline never goes away, no matter
No.
how many deer you do pop and you get.
It's
and
the same thing when
Yeah.
you hook into a
Still.
big fish.
Still, you can't. And no matter how much you think you are prepared to haul a deer in and drag one through,
Mhm.
but It's like that adrenaline will make you do anything. It's awesome.
Well, I
It's
kind
just
of look at it too. Some of the people I'm with, some of my buddies, if they passed out, it would be like carrying a moose in, and I do have some buddies that are in the 500s, and I'm like, I hope you don't ever fall over. When I'm in a boat and I'm a heavy guy, but my side's up when we're going. But I think about, I'm dragging out this animal, and I'm like, could you imagine if that some of my buddies or my clients tipped over? I don't know. I can't lift that, but.
With enough adrenaline, I bet you could.
I'm sure I could. I drink a energy drink, but the rough grouse, I know it's not fishing, and I don't always get them, and I just love kicking them up and seeing how fast they go. Those and woodcock and all that stuff. You're walking on a trail, and they kick up, and the brushier the trail, the one that the 4-wheelers can't get down, always have all the birds. And that's something you can do after you fish.
I love that.
That's
I love
the
that.
best
So,
transition too.
The
thumping.
Oh, I love that.
Grouse hunting is like my favorite bird to eat too.
Oh, they're so
Aside from-
good.
I
Oh my
love
gosh,
pheasants.
Delicious.
Grouse. So
it's
then
all
pheasant.
fun. And I used to shoot them in Red Wing, down by Red Wing, and in some places near Zumbrota. And I'd go grouse hunting. We'd always see grouse, and down by Whitewater, we've seen a lot of grouse. And if the grouse went up those little plateaus, I would call that just a flush. Have a great day up there. And if it went down the plateau, that's a flush. Good. I don't need to shoot that one either. They're gone and I haven't been there for decades, so I don't know what it's like now, but we'd see a turkey once in a while down there too.
Well, we're getting super excited to see in September here your induction to the
Oh my gosh.
Nichole Fishing Hall of Fame.
Unbelievable.
We will
What a
be
shock.
we got a good round of applause for that.
What a shock.
Should
And-
you get it or should Heather get that?
She should get maybe most of it and just give me chisel a little corner of it off there, but because it's a big deal and I didn't expect it. And
That's awesome.
It was really cool to have legends of fishing and that actually voted for me, and I feel like I'm in a room there full of giants. And,
So are you. You're a great
Mhm.
advocate in this fishing industry. So I think you're well deserved.
Absolutely.
Well deserved.
You don't have to have money either.
So with that, so with me, sucking up a little bit. Some walleye fishing, maybe. No, just
Yeah.
kidding.
Well, you guys just let me know, and maybe if
Just kidding.
I'm doing a tournament, you could just jump in there and we'll go over to where my competition fishes.
Perfect.
Sounds like
Perfect.
a good game plan.
That's what we do on the bass. You don't even use hooks on your plugs and stuff. You just want to see them. And hey, thank you for I like these notes. But so Heather will ask, I'll go today, but are we going to go fish for bass? Or are we looking? I said, no, I know where we're going. Let's go fish. Let's go fish over there. And it'd be just good competition with buddies. And of course they'd fish my spots out too, if they could find them. But sometimes my good spots are their good spots. So no one's fishing them. And you don't see anybody on a good spot. They're all going to be there on the day.
In the day. Well, I'll always be the person, call me last minute and I'll come and join you.
Yeah, definitely.
Bring the good luck charm.
You could run the trolling motor.
Perfect. That's funny.
Yeah, I think you're pretty close to me, aren't you, bro?
How were you at?
Emmaville.
Oh yeah, you're not that far away. Emmaville, you've got all them red tails and creek chubs just down the road there.
We do.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
you have the lion's share of them.
Sure.
And I tell you what, there's a guaranteed bite right there in all those rivers and creeks, and you have big walleyes by you.
We do. I got the real big ones real close.
Yeah, and I figure
We've seen Luke's big walleyes this last couple weeks.
and now that there's a little bit of an archaeology dig happened over there, and I already know it, and I kind of wish it never happened. There was a little tournament, but they didn't tell you where they go. But word catches because there's a trailer or a truck, people know, or they get stickers on their truck, and everything's all the big fish are coming from your area. It seems like all the solid 28 to over 30s.
Yeah, a lot of 30 plussers.
Crazy, and here
Fatties.
we're kind of like the McDonald's area. We got like plenty of Big Macs out there to eat, and some big ones. And the slot fish here, we see anything over 20 to, that 25. That's probably in a day's catch. We'll make it a 27 once in a while, but they're coming on. They're happening. But Winnie really had a low population of really big fish, and now it's bouncing up because they had a slot. But look how long it took. And the lakes you're at are deep, cold, and full of structure. So, you got any little lakes you want to tell everybody? No, I'm just kidding.
You can come over and speak with me anytime you want, though.
It'd be fun because I've only been there a couple times. I was over with Aquaview fishing a lake over there that, 1 minute it's a walleye, the next minute it's a smallmouth bass jumping. It's really cool. And the panfish, I don't get over there. I'm too busy. I got to be less busy so I can go fishing and not just guide fishing all the time. And but that's an area that is one of the best little spots, kind of a secret, even no matter, we could say a little bit, but
pretty small area of a couple lakes.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of lakes, and it's got a lot of mystery too on the edges of it. All these, the panfish, it's and looks like a lot of morels over there with those clear cuts and stuff. So
that's my jam. I'll be right up.
Yep.
This spring.
Come on up. Nikki's been out morel hunting with me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
foraging is my favorite springtime in between fishing and.
It is. It's nice to get out and walk. And
it's a good time to get a lot of deer where I live.
So. It is.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. There's a lot here too. It's a wood tick, definitely a wood tick contest to see how many you can get.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you do it? You'd have to get probably tape. You get one, tape it, and see how many each morel picker could get.
Yeah, we did the tape thing too. Run the thing. I'm like,
that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it. We're what? Are we close? Are we good?
We're about done. We'll have to have him on again. We got more stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we got more to talk about.
Questions.
Yeah, I would like to have you on again and talk a little bit about like your jig designs, your lure designs, how you come up with that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Episode.
There's some stuff that we did. The bro bug spoon was probably like that 12 years. Well, and we could talk about that later. But the bro bug, too many things came out, so something had to go, and that went. But I still know that that's a good thing because there's a lot of companies starting garage artisans and stuff making it, so the bro bug spoon was really good, and it's lasting the test of time at Gill Getter and Mudbug, but I'll tell you about how I designed them, and was I drinking a pop or something else when I was designing them?
Was it pop?
Yeah, what's the best way for guys to reach you to get you to hire you for a guide?
Yeah, just go to brosguideservice.com and just give me a shout. And even if you're booking last minute, check, because if I have a half day, I could put another half day and vice versa. So just check with me and just shoot me a message on Bros Guide Service, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, we can post that in with this at the end.
Yeah. May and June are pretty packed, but July, August, and September is half full. But I also do October, and this year I did November all the way till Thanksgiving, and I had to break ice.
I saw some of your videos on that,
which is sinful. Heather helps me. She knows music. I might have seen the band at one point in time, whether it's country, rock, or, that stuff that you see on there. If you'll notice, she always picks the stuff just right, even when we had grouse dancing on the road, and she put the Pretenders in the middle of the road on there. That was funny. These grouse they stop traffic, and moose and giant bears and fishing, but it's just fun. And so we have our our thing, I'll go out and find them, and then she can film it.
Nice.
I love that.
Awesome.
I look
Yeah.
forward
Good
to it.
duo and a team.
Yeah, we'll have to have you guys together next time.
Yeah.
You got to stay hip, even when you get over medium aged. I don't want to be the OG yet. I'll be the over medium.
There we go.
I
Because
like
there's
that.
still those people that are just a sniff older, and then younger. We need more of the younger.
We
That-
do.
Yeah.
That would be me.
Well,
A bit
guys,
younger.
Brian Brosdahl, 2026 Hall of Fame inductee, Fishing Hall of Fame inductee. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Thank
Yep. See you
Thanks,
next time.
See you, bro.
Fun time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Peace out.
What a great guest.
That was
You
awesome.
got so many cool stories.
yeah?
Too bad we don't got that much time.
we
You
on?
know? Yeah,
I
you
know.
go on. Absolutely.
That was awesome though, because there is a lot more to cover and a lot more questions.
Yeah.
He's got some good stories.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't want to. He was telling good stories. I didn't want to ask him any other ones to.
It's really nice having guests on that can carry a story out longer than 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Everybody was really enjoying that.
Yeah.
Reading the comments. There was a comment here that I didn't address. Where is it? There it is, right there. Where's the tall, good looking?
I wouldn't
Is
say
that
I'm over here. I'm not very
Mm.
tall, bro. That's weird.
Yeah, I'm kind of short.
Please.
I don't think you should ask us. I think you knew. I think you know who you should be asking. It's not us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where is he?
No say.
No say.
What a great
Well,
show.
well, good.
Yeah,
I
it was
hope you're
awesome.
feeling better. Hope your face or your jaw is. I had my GoPro. I went to go do something with my thing, and it came up and hit me right in my lip. Look at that.
What a nerd.
It's like a big hole in my lip. Hurts.
At least he didn't have a colonoscopy.
Teams
Oh,
don't
that
care.
is
Good point.
Well, good.
Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Old Carver Fishing Podcast.
Heather, it was nice to meet you. If you're still logged
Yeah. We'll have to have them
That was
together.
awesome.
Well, we're not on
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
That was fun.
There we are.
He's really nice.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. We'll see you guys. We don't have a guest next week.
in. Not yet.
Do we need to look
No.
for
We might-
one?
No, I think we're good. I think
All
next
right.
week we need to
Catch up.
But otherwise, anyhow.
Well,
thanks
Danny
for
Boo.
joining us.
Danny Boo will be with us maybe someday soon.
Yes.
Next week?
We could maybe ask him.
I talked to him.
Oh, Luke, I have to message you about one guy from TikTok that I think we should have on.
All
Yeah,
right.
let
Well,
me
good
know.
night.
Yeah.
right.
All right, guys. See you
Thank
guys.
you, guys.
Peace out.